Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'm going to cover Marvel Triple Action starring the Avengers, issue number 44, published in 1978 by Marvel Comics. This was one of Marvel's many reprint titles, along with Marvel Superheroes and Marvel Super Action, and a few others I probably am blanking on right now in the moment. But as a kid, these were the ways that I was consuming classic 60s Marvel. This covers a reprint of Avengers number 52, which would have originally been published in 1968. And so this one was published in 78. So 10 years later, they're revisiting this classic banger of a story because not only do we get T'Challa, the Black Panther's first issue as an Avenger. He actually joins the Avengers at the end of this issue. We get the first appearance of longtime Avengers foe, the Grim Reaper, who, of course, is revealed to be the brother of Simon Williams' Wonder Man and his long misplaced quest for revenge against the Avengers. This cover is pretty remarkable. It is ostensibly a John Buscema cover. However, if you look at my handy dandy Avengers Index, and folks, I know Wikipedia is a thing and it's awesome. Contribute to Wikipedia. They're under threat right now. But this is where Wikipedia got all of its information. Folks took the stuff from these indexes that Marvel had published over the years and put them into Wikipedia. So this first issue of the Avengers Index covers from issue 1 all the way through issue 60. And so if we look at it, page quickly through here, we can kind of compare the original cover with the Marvel Triple Action 44 cover. And you can see there are some differences. It's kind of nice that it's not just a straight up reprint because you do get a kind of a new representation of the cover. So some folks might complain that that's not faithful, but I kind of like it because you're getting a little extra for your hard-earned 35 cents, and it was still only 35 cents at the time. So the original cover had no background, essentially. It was just a yellow field behind the figures. The figures in the background were not colored. Here they are. We can see the fallen forms of Goliath, Wasp, and Hawkeye. Interestingly, this figure is clearly a Buscema figure. This figure is clearly not a Buscema figure. And I want to say that looks almost like a Gil Kane Black Panther right there. If not Gil Kane, maybe Dave Cockrum. I'm not sure why they decided to change the figure work on the Panther in these two instances from the original to this. But it works nonetheless, and of course we get different taglines too. They're the same verbiage, but they are presented a little differently. So pretty neat, cool to take a look at that. So let's dive in and go through this. This is a Roy Thomas, John Buscema, Vince Colletta presentation. Sam Rosen listed as a letterer, and of course, as was customary at this time, no colorist. We can only speculate who the colorist was. Death calls for the arch heroes. So the Black Panther, or simply as he's referred to here as a panther, with the open mask, has shown up to Avengers HQ at the behest of Captain America to replace him in the Avengers because he's got his own stuff he needs to pursue right now. So the Panther is going to be his replacement. He runs afoul of some traps that the Avengers use to guard their mansion. Common trope, new Avenger shows up and runs afoul of the security system. But what he finds when he does defeat that security system is pretty shocking. But even one who has faced the rampaging lion, who has fought satanic foes alongside the Fantastic Four, is unprepared for what next greets his startled eyes. What in the name of the timeless jungle which spawned me? It's unbelievable. The Avengers, dead. I dared hope I was wrong, that somehow, in the gloomy darkness, My eyes had deceived me. My jungle-trained senses erred. But there is no pulse, no slightest breath. Hold, someone just entered the room. Who? Who indeed? It is Jasper Sitwell, who of course mistakes the Panther for the murderer, since he doesn't really know the Panther from Adam at this point. And he calls the police. The Panther, who could easily overpower and take the gun from Sitwell, patient, judicious in his actions, decides to wait. The police show up. The Panther says, wait, I was sent here by Captain America. He gave me the codes to this vault. Captain America said, this door opens to a certain combination, one he gave only me a few days ago. The main meeting room is beyond, but the combination doesn't work. The door won't open. Well, wonders never cease. So now Cap's your alibi, is he? It may take us weeks to track down that globe-hopping masked man. Come on, tell the rest of it to the judge. So, Panther's getting arrested. Meanwhile, Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow, returns only to find the Avengers, these three Avengers, dead, including her love, Hawkeye, who they just had a quarrel, so she's pretty broken up about it. Meanwhile, Panther's being carted off to the clink. And news travels fast. It goes out, and we see Tony Stark, Captain America, Tony Stark / Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor all reacting to the news of the Avengers' apparent death. However, somewhere in the stunned city, one voice there is, which is raised in exultant triumph. My plan succeeded to the final detail. That which has been duly sown shall now be harvested by the man who killed the trio of Avengers, I, the Grim Reaper. So this is obviously Reaper's original costume. This is his first appearance. Very colorful. Later on, he would get a better costume. He would have a number of appearances. The costume would change a little bit each time until Perez would give him the really cool black costume that we would see in Avengers 160, the trial issue. For the present, it suits my scheme that the luckless Panther be thought the murderer. For these deaths are only the first I shall accomplish. And the supreme irony of all is that the true murderer shall be the authorities themselves in a way that they can scarcely imagine. So that's all to be revealed. In the meantime, we get these cool flashback panels of Reaper taking on those three Avengers prior to the Panther's arrival and taking them out in his inimitable fashion with his weapon. I mean, he is the classic gimmick villain, but he's always been sort of had a little bit more menace than that, maybe because of his name or his history with the Avengers. Who's to say? But he does make the most out of this crazy scythe device that he has, which Hawkeye aptly points out here. Let's see. Right here he says, watch out for that pig sticker of his, Man Mountain. I'm betting it's got more gizmos than I've got arrows. And he would be right about that. Here he uses it as a helicopter, literally chews through the floor with it, or the ceiling, I should say. I mean, he's just very capable of fighting. And again, these are three of, shall we say, the lesser Avengers. At this time, the Wasp is not very formidable. Goliath is kind of a big, slow, hulking target. And Hawkeye, while really cool and I love him, again, not ever going to be confused as one of the most effective Avengers. So he overcomes them with this shock beam. And then we get one of those, I think I talked about it in the last episode where I went over those 50-cent books. Incidentally, this was a 50-cent book gotten from the sale this holiday season. Pretty great. As I am recording this a couple days after Christmas 2024. And in nice shape, too. I could not, when I saw this, and I was like, wow, this is great. I have to grab this for 50 cents. No brainer. We get one of these recaps, which I love so much, of, again, Avengers number 9, the events of Avengers number 9, which is a whirlwind issue where Wonder Man shows up, joins the Avengers, promptly betrays them, and then goes back on his betrayal and saves them, and then dies. So it's quite a packed issue, and it's gone over in just 3 panels here. Really cool. And the Panthers had enough. He realizes that he's not going to get any more accomplished here with the police, so he just decides to leave. And really, he's presented as such a supreme and capable character here. It's just a great debut for him. One of my favorite Avengers. And oftentimes, if I'm asked online or somewhere by anyone to, what's your ultimate team of Avengers, it's hard for me to leave the Panther out because he's just so cool. I had hoped to elude them by scaling this almost sheer wall, but now you're trapped, Panther. So surrender. This is only the warning burst you're getting. The police have him cornered. He's got to give up, or look, he's jumping toward the next building. He leaps like some jungle beast, like a real panther. But it's too far. Nothing that lives could jump that distance. For a fleeting eternity, the horrified spectators and police below hold their breath, while high above, taut muscles strain achingly, and then he made it. There are a dozen exits from that building. We'll never cover them all. The man who murdered the Avengers has escaped. Really great. I should pause a moment and just talk about how great the John Buscema, Vince Colletta artwork in this issue is. Really cool. Buscema, never a fan of superheroes, but supremely talented at depicting them in action. He delivers again here on his in the middle of a long run on the book. And again, conspicuous by his absence is Tom Palmer. People always talk about Buscema Palmer on that first Buscema run of Avengers, but the Buscema Palmer stuff is really, I think, less than 10 issues. He had a bunch of other inkers who were very capable, including Colletta, George Klein. I think maybe even Giacoya might have inked him once. So Sal may have inked him during this period. But, of course, we associate Buscema Palmer because they're such a supreme team. Panther goes back to Avengers Mansion. He's figured it out. He's brilliant. And he knows that skulking at the mansion the entire time behind that locked vaulted door was the Grim Reaper. And Panther presents himself. So that's your motive, an insane revenge. And to carry it out, you've devised a weapon which chills the very soul. But I found another entrance here, one such as only I could use. The Panther. Yes, assassin, the Panther. He whom you wish to die for your unspeakable crime. But now, whoever you may be, you'll pay for your own deeds. Fool, keep away from me. I am the Grim Reaper. Mine is the sacred scythe of justice. You speak of justice, yet seek vengeance for one who the official reports said was killed by Zemo, and that he died saving the Avengers. You lie, arrogant one. It's the Avengers who are the murderers. It worked. In his rage, he swings wildly. But he managed to clip the Panther's shoulder here with a blast from his scythe, and he gets to monologue a bit more. You are indeed a fool, Panther. I intercepted your earlier message to the Avengers and seized the opportunity to make you appear their killer. Yet you yourself could have escaped instead of coming here. Here, where you shall precede them in death. All? You speak as if the Avengers are alive, but you killed them, I saw. You saw, dolt, what I wanted you and the police to see. 3 seemingly lifeless forms, yet each actually living. His vital processes merely slowed to a virtual standstill. The actual physical touch of my scythe did the deed, and only my blade can undo it. So Panther knows he only's got 3 hours, according to the Reaper, to reverse the process. And this is a storyline that will be repeated again in the Ultron story that comes in Avengers 161 through 162 or 63, 161 to 162, where Ultron uses the encephalo beam to make it appear as if he's killed the Avengers, when in fact they're just in a reversible coma. So Panther, here it appears that the Grim Reaper has been impaled on his own scythe. Panther takes it and leaves, and he's going to break into the morgue and try to revive the Avengers. And this is cool. I like how Buscema uses the 4-panel arrangement occasionally, and this is something Kirby would do quite often. And it breaks up the story a bit and just adds a little bit of variety to the layouts. But we all know John Buscema, a consummate storyteller. He can basically do whatever the script requires. And of course, the police are there, and they're not going to catch the Panther. He's going to get right by him. There they are, behind this thick door, as I suspected. And they lie so still, their faces like dread masks of death. Did my maniacal foe merely taunt me when he said they lived? I love how he doesn't even mention it. He just smashes through this door. Crack. Pretty awesome. He is portrayed here as someone who's incredibly capable, and that's why I, grew as a kid to love the Panther so much, because he was just such a cool, sleek-looking character who was both brilliant and physically capable. So here he revives them as the police are drawing a bead and trying to shoot him, and then suddenly the Avengers awaken and stop the authorities from attacking the Panther any further. Dead? Don't you believe it, Blue Boys? We've been alive all along, but till now we couldn't move. Then those electrical bursts awakened you almost instantly, but how? We'll fill you in on the details as soon as we're sure of them ourselves. Right now, it looks like we've got a wounded rescuer to take care of. The Grim Reaper's gone. Then he wasn't dying after all. He merely sensed defeat and faked a mortal wound to avoid capture. If I ever get my mitts on that sickle-swinging creep. No need to draw us a picture, partner. I've got a hunch you'll get another crack at him before long. But soon, even such thoughts of retribution are temporarily shelved as an historic event takes place. So with all members present and Captain America voting aye, I declare the decision unanimous. T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, welcome to the Avengers. Now we're back to fighting strength again. I shall always strive to be worthy of him whom I replace, Janet Van Dyne. Yet what of the others whom I have heard? Hercules, Quicksilver, the Scarlet Witch. The son of Zeus has returned to the timeless Olympus, just as Thor, Iron Man, and Cap resigned to pursue their own private destinies. All the names of those who have been Avengers have been enshrined in glory, unmatched in the annals of adventure. All save two, Wanda and Pietro. To find them, to learn if they are now friend or foe, that is a task we must set for ourselves. Then let the word go forth that today you have gained a new ally, one who has given up a throne that he may better serve a greater kingdom, the whole of mankind itself. For now, the Panther is truly an Avenger. Next dish, perhaps the most totally unexpected foes of all, the extraordinary X-Men. So let's take a quick peek at that cover because it is in the index. So here we are again, the original cover to 52. And oh yes, this is one of those classic battle covers where you have the two forces running at each other on opposite sides. Awesome cover for Avengers 53, really cool. And let's take a quick look. So John Buscema is the penciler and George Tuska is the inker on that one. Interesting. And Tuska would continue as the inker for a couple of issues here. There's George Klein. Yeah, so again, these indexes are invaluable, really cool. And they're dollar bins all the time. You can find them pretty easily. So yeah, that was really great. A no-brainer pickup for 50 cents. But even if you have to pay a couple of bucks for this, these reprints are just awesome. I recommend Marvel Triple Action, Marvel Superheroes, and Marvel Super Action. Fantastic reprint stories, classic tales, and they really will bring you up to speed on some of those Silver Age stories that really built the foundation of Marvel Comics. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.